Hey, Jules Plus Vegan, and thank you so much for stopping by. And for those who are new, welcome. I wanted to talk about the importance of accepting how people truly are instead of trying to change them, instead of wanting to make them into what you hope they'll be, but just recognizing them for them, even when it's not good. Because I know so often we'll meet a person and maybe we're offended by them initially. And we'll be like, well, they can't possibly be like that. They must be having a really hard day. Or, they're just really kind of offensive, or just their energy is wrong. And we'll think, well, it must be me. I'm being too judgmental. Whatever it is, we don't trust our gut and see the truth of who that person is. So, this fable, and the difference between a parable and a fable is that in fables the animals can talk, but it still has a really important message, was that there was this man and he found a snake freezing to death in the snow. It was going to die, there's no question. So he knew it was a snake, but he decided he just had to save it anyway. So he took the snake into his house and he laid it on the hearth and let it warm up by the fire. And it went over for a couple of days, and a day or two, as the days passed, he gave it milk, and it was drinking milk. And finally, by about day 4, it gained its strength back. And he came out that morning to check on it. He didn't see the snake initially, but he kind of heard a hissing noise. And then all of a sudden, when he went behind the couch, the snake reared up and bit him. And he was like, oh my gosh, why did you bite me? I just saved your life. And the snake just looked at him and said, you know I was a snake when you brought me in the house, right? Like, that's what snakes do, right? Yes, he knew he was a snake, but he talked himself out of it. So this is one of Maya Angelou's quotes and one of Oprah Winfrey's favorites of her quotes. And it's, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. It's really powerful. It's just so darn true. Believe them. I don't know if that's true for you. It's true for me, because I just have one of those hearts that wants to believe people can be different, wants to hope that I can inspire or strengthen or, guide them somehow to be the best version of themselves. But I have to protect myself too. And I have welcomed snakes into my life on more than one occasion, and I have been seriously bitten. No question. No question. And it's true. People show you who they are. It's very rare that a person will change over time. I'm sorry to say. I always believe people can change, but I also believe it takes an act of God to change someone, and in a very humbling experience, usually from trauma, that the person will even go in the right direction and choose to change. So I'm kind of saying that for myself. I didn't just get bitten by a snake, but I know it's always lurking around me, especially as a God person. I know the more light I have, and I know in the raw vegan community, people attribute their light to their food. And there's even science that suggests the more fruit and vegetables you eat, the more light you emit. Seriously. But for me, it's a God thing. And the more spiritual and enlightened I am, the more the devil wants to play and say, yeah, you're not going to win another one, Father, and you're not going to win Juliana. And I most certainly have my shortcomings. But mostly I have light, and I have to protect myself. So let's read that again. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Maya Angelou. All right, peeps, that's the thought of the day. I am still struggling. It's just this underlying cold. It's really weird. It's like any downtime that I have, I'm more tired than I normally would be, even though I'm totally functioning. It's still raining here. There's still snow in the past. It's super cold. There's stuff like that. When I bend down, there's like a smell. I don't know if you get that with the flu, but I do. actual smell that tells me I'm still sick. So prayers welcome, and prayers going out to Dawn's Happier, who is trying to hold up her promise to be in the Rebounder Challenge that she's sponsoring. You can find that, I'm sure, on Facebook or Instagram. Dawn's Happier. But today she's not that happy because she's not feeling well, but she put in her 5 minutes and she was going to do 5 more. And I just know that with the way we eat, at the very least, any illness would be longer and worse if we weren't eating the best we can. So cheers to vegan, cheers to you. And until we talk again, my friends, as always, like if you like, join us if you haven't. And best of all, be blessed.